ChatGPT. Maybe you've heard of it. If you haven't, then get ready, because this promises to be the viral sensation that could completely reset how we do things.
There's a strong probability that it will make life much better and that we'll have an age of abundance.
It's rare to see a technology receive exponential adoption and attention in such a short period, as OpenAI's ChatGPT has since late 2022. ChatGPT is estimated to have attracted 100 million users in just 2 months. Netflix took 10 years to achieve 100 million users. Google Translate took 6.5 years. Instagram took around 2.5 years. And TikTok took 9 months. Well, this is because of generative AI. Since the creation of computers, they have just been glorified calculators, machines that carry out the exact instructions given to them by programmers. But something extraordinary is occurring now. Computers are learning, thinking, and communicating just like us. They are capable of doing creative and intellectual tasks that were previously limited to humans. We call this technology generative AI. Essentially, intelligence is now available as a service, much like a vast brain floating in the sky that everyone can communicate with. It is not flawless, but it is remarkably capable, and it is improving at a rapid pace. This is a significant event that will have an impact on almost every individual and corporation on the Earth, whether positively or negatively. Today, we will help you comprehend generative AI in practical terms beyond the hype. The more you grasp this technology as an individual, team, or corporation, the more prepared you will be to survive and succeed in the age of AI. For better visualization, let's say you have Isaac Newton in your basement. In fact, everybody does. And by Newton, I truly mean the sum of all intelligent people who have ever lived. You can speak with Newton whenever you want. He has instant access to the sum of all human knowledge and will respond to any question you have within seconds, never losing patience. He can also play whatever character you want, comedian, poet, doctor, or coach, and will be an expert in that area. He has certain human-like limitations. However, he can make mistakes, leap to conclusions, and misinterpret you. But the most significant constraint is your imagination and ability to communicate effectively with them. This skill is known as prompt engineering, and in the age of AI, it is just as important as reading and writing. Most people underestimate the capabilities of the Newton in your basement. It's like asking the actual Newton to edit a high school report, or employing a world-class 5-star chef to cut onions. The more you interact with Newton, the more you'll uncover unexpected and powerful methods for him to assist you or your business. Okay, enough with the fancy metaphors. Let us clarify a few terms. AI, as you're surely aware, stands for artificial intelligence. AI is not a new concept. Machine learning and computer vision have been around for several decades. When you see a YouTube recommendation, a web search result, or a credit card transaction authorized, that's classic AI working. Generative AI creates fresh original content rather than simply discovering and classifying current stuff. That is the G in GPT. Large language models, LLMs, are a type of generative AI that can converse in natural human language. ChatGPT is a product of OpenAI. It began as an LLM, essentially an advanced chatbot, built on a new design known as the transformer architecture, which is also represented by the letter T in GPT. It understands human language so well that anyone can use it. You don't need to be an AI expert or coder, which is what sparked the entire revolution. So, how does it really work? A big language model is an artificial neural network, essentially a collection of numbers or parameters linked together in the same way that our brain is made up of neurons or brain cells. Neural networks only deal with numbers. You input numbers, and depending on how the parameters are configured, all of the numbers are output. However, any type of content, including text and images, can be represented numerically. Let's say I write, "Subscribe to my channel." When I transmit it to a huge language model, it is turned into numbers, which are then processed by a neural network before being converted back into text. That's what happens behind the scenes when you type something into ChatGPT. A huge language model can have billions or trillions of parameters, which is why it is called large. So how are all of these numbers set? Not through manual programming, which would be impossible, but rather through training. Like babies, learning to speak is not taught how to speak and does not receive an instruction manual. Instead, she listens to what people are saying around her, and once she has heard enough, she begins to notice the pattern. She talks a few words at initially, much to her parents' surprise, and then whole phrases later. Similarly, during the training period, the language model is fed an enormous amount of text to learn from. primarily from internet sources. It then plays guess the next word with all of information repeatedly, and the parameters are automatically modified until it starts getting pretty good at predicting the next word. This is known as backpropagation, which is a fancy word for, oh, I guessed wrong, I better change something. However, for a model to be genuinely useful, humans must also train it. This is known as reinforcement learning with human feedback, and it includes hundreds of hours of people methodically assessing and evaluating model output, while also providing feedback, similar to teaching a dog with a clicker to praise excellent behavior. That is why a model like GPT will not tell you how to rob a bank. It knows exactly how to do it, but via human training, it has learned not to assist humans in committing crimes. When training is complete, the model is basically frozen, with the exception of some fine-tuning that can occur later. The P in GPT refers for pre-trained. However, in the future, we will most likely have models that can learn continually rather than just during training and fine-tuning. Although ChatGPT sparked the trend, GPT is not the only model available. In reality, new models are emerging like mushrooms. We have the likes of Google's Bard, Microsoft's Bing AI, and even text-to-image like DALL-E. They all differ significantly in terms of speed, functionality, and cost. Some can be downloaded and installed locally, while others are only available online. Some are free or open source, while others are commercial items. It's the Wild West. Just keep in mind that you usually get what you pay for. Thus, with a free model, you might get a smart high school student in your basement instead of Newton. The difference between, say, GPT 3.5 and GPT-4 is substantial. It's worth noting that different types of generative AI models produce different forms of material. Text-to-text models, such as GPT-4, receive text as input and produce text as output. The text might be plain language or organized information such as code, JSON, or HTML. I use this frequently to generate code when developing. It saves a tremendous amount of time. Text-to-image models generate images. Simply describe what you want, and an image will be generated for you. You may even choose a style. Image-to-image models can convert and combine images. We have image-to-text models that describe the contents of an image and speech-to-text models that generate voice transcriptions, which are valuable for meeting notes. Text-audio models generate music or noises based on a cue. For example, here's some audio generated by the query, "People talking in a busy." Okay guys, that's enough. Stop right now. Thank you. There are even text-to-video models that can create videos from a suggestion. Sooner or later, limitless movie series will auto-generate the next episode based on your preferences as you watch. It's kind of scary when you think about it. One current trend is multimodal AI products, which merge multiple models into a single product, allowing you to deal with text, images, audio, and other media without switching tools. The ChatGPT smartphone app is an excellent illustration of this. Initially, language models were simply word predictors, statistical computers with limited practical use. However, as they grew in size and were trained on more data, they began to exhibit emergent skills, which startled even the technology's developers. They could role-play, write poetry, write high-quality code, talk business strategy, provide legal and medical advice, coach, and teach, all of which were previously only possible for humans. It turns out that after seeing enough text and images, a model begins to see patterns and comprehend higher-level concepts, much like a baby learning to understand the world. The future autonomous agents. Autonomous agents for generative AI are equipped with tools. These are AI-powered software entities that operate independently rather than constantly relying on you to prompt them. So you go down to Newton in your basement and do what a good leader would do for a team. You assign him a high-level mission and the tools he needs to complete it. Then you open the door and let him to conduct his own show without micromanagement. The tools might include internet connection, money, the capacity to send and receive messages, order pizza, and so on. This makes prompt engineering even more critical because your autonomous, tool-wielding agent can inflict a lot of good or a lot of harm, depending on how effectively you construct your goal statement. As we wind up, please share with us if you would like a video on how to improve your prompting skills. Comment prompt. Also, remember to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video.